Today on the Farm for Fun podcast, all we're going to talk about is politics.
And the presidential election, and what do you think? All right, so you're a little loud.
Tanner, you went to school to count.
Can you count faster than American Idol can?
And that's what we get told all the time. Like, it wouldn't be a Not Quite Brothers show if some old dude didn't walk up and say, like, this music was made before you were born. Because everyone's just like, how do you even know these songs? Like,
wouldn't be.
So Naked Oats?
Naked Oats.
That would be a hell of a band name.
Thank you for listening to the Farm for Fun podcast, a happy hour spinoff of the Farm for Profit podcast. These episodes are hosted by Tanner Winteroff, the Iowa Bankerman, David Whitaker, the Iowa Land Guy, and a random farmer named Corey. Each episode, they plan to focus on a brewery or distillery while talking about all current events and everything else. Crack a beer, mix a drink, and join on the fun. Remember, if you aren't farming for fun, we know you probably wait till noon for dinner.
Welcome back to another Farm for Fun episodes. This is Tanner Winterhoff.
This is Corey Hillebo.
And this is David Whitaker.
We are here on a fall Friday afternoon, one of the best times to have a beer and talk about farming.
Yeah, we're still farming. Unfortunately, I was still in a tizzy trying to get here because we have 80 acres left, and we're trying to get done before the rain that comes in on Sunday.
It's not like
Monday,
it's 75 degrees outside or anything. It's gorgeous and beautiful.
It's gorgeous. I should be in my podcasting shorts right now, but I am not.
Yeah, it's all part of it. All part of it. Thank you again, guys, for listening to us, guys and gals. We really appreciate that. And thank you for reaching out and leaving your kind words. Hank Wade at Henry68157. I assume that's the zip code. We've featured him before. Had a really kind thing to say to us last week. He said, long day in the tractor today. Trying to hide from the wife till she actually calms down. Why not give these guys and gal a listen? He was talking about our last episode with Ellie Mae on. So it was really, really kind words. We appreciate that. That's that extra fuel to keep us going and moving right ahead. Don't be afraid to send those along.
That's the perfect place to hide from your significant other.
That's
because
right.
you're getting stuff done.
Yeah, I like
You
this.
know, you're not going to the bar and, just being worthless. So, perfect.
So what do you think, guys? Should we set up a drinking game before we start this? What's the word going to be, Dave?
I last week it was fantastic. So,
Well, every time Tanner says cool, I think we'd be drunk before 10 minutes. So
there you go. There you go.
How about election?
We can do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Election. There you go. There's the word. If you hear the word election and you're drinking right along with us, bottoms up.
Bottoms up.
Fair enough. So are you ready for our big introduction?
Yeah, let's give me some intro music.
I'm ready for this.
Give me some intro music here. We got something different here. Today on the Mullet a Bag podcast, we decide to switch gears and dabble in the genre of rock and roll. We have found a 5-piece band from eastern Iowa, born and bred. These guys met in high school and decided to go out on a limb and start making some sweet rock and roll. They've played all over Iowa and Wisconsin, and they have opened up for bands like the Pork Tornadoes and Hairball, one of my favorites. One might think that they are brothers, but they are the band Not Quite Brothers. Welcome, guys. What's going on? So we only have one mic for them. All right, who's doing the main talking here? I guess introduce yourself. Pull the mic up.
Yeah, so my name's Cooper Corcoran. I am the rhythm guitar player. Our other guitar player is not here today. His name's Isaac Johnson, and he is twin brothers with our lead singer right here to my right, Sam Johnson. And our bass player is not along with us here today either. That's Blake Marsh. And to my left here is our drummer, but he's going to be a guitar player for you today. This is Ben Schmelzer.
Gotcha. So just to describe these guys a little bit here, it's like
Good luck.
Some sweet rock and roll. We got Motley Crue shirt. We got a Black Sabbath. We got Rolling Stones. We got long hair. It's what I want to see in a rocker. Looking the part, guys. It looks good. So
this was a connection, I believe, through Tyler Richardson. When we had those guys on, he asked us to reach out. So we really appreciate you guys coming in, being a little bit of a different flavor here at the end of our fall little music train.
So have you guys ever been on a podcast before?
Yeah, so back at the beginning of October, we played Oktoberfest down at Adventureland in Altoona, Des Moines area, down this way actually. And the Iowa Music Podcast, I'm not sure if you're familiar, it's headed by the drummer of the Pork Tornadoes. His name's Mike Schulte. So we did that just a few weeks ago, or about a month ago. Sam and myself did. But that's the only experience we've ever had. listen to them all the time.
Awesome. What a band to be called the Port Tornadoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not quite as cool as Not Quite Brothers.
Yeah. No. The backstory I think is a little bit weird, and I don't know if there's truth to it or not. Sometimes I wonder if it's a dirty joke gone wrong. But yeah, it's too late to change it now. Much too late to change it now.
So two of you guys are twin brothers, you said.
Yeah.
Right? Twin brothers, and then the rest are just not quite brothers. How'd you meet?
When I was in high school, I started playing guitar, and I didn't really tell anybody. And I'll make this story as short as possible. But his twin brother, our lead guitar player, I sat down next to him in algebra class, and I knew what I was doing. I knew he played guitar. Like, I just wanted him to talk to me, whatever, So I opened my computer, and my background was like a splatter-painted image of Jimi Hendrix. And then he opened his computer, and it was the same exact thing. And so it was like kind of instant, We're like, oh, shit, we should play guitar together, So we played guitar. Just hung out and played guitar together. And we did our first thing we ever did was a national anthem at a high school volleyball game. And then it just kind of went from there. We played guitar, and then he didn't really like me in high school. Sam didn't. Later decided that he would. Yeah, he still doesn't. He later decided that he'd be in a band with me, and then we picked Ben and Blake up. His brother also met those two out of like show choir backup band. So like in high schools, all the show choirs have their backing bands of drummers and bass players and guitar players and stuff. And so he met both our bass player and our drummer, Ben, here through backup band show choir.
So how old are you guys? How long have you been together?
We've been together for 2 years. We're all between the ages of 20 and 22.
Gotcha. So younger guys, up and coming. You don't get a lot of rock out of Iowa. I mean, you do a little bit, but you don't get a lot of musicians out of Iowa, I guess, period.
You probably play a lot of music that was out before you were born.
And that's what we get told all the time. Like, it wouldn't be a Not Quite Brothers show if some old dude didn't walk up and say, like, this music was made before you were born. Because everyone's just like, how do you even know these songs? Like,
it wouldn't be a shit.
For example, we do a song by Jerry Doucette. I think he's a one-hit wonder. You'd be able to tell him. Yeah, he's a one-hit wonder out of Canada, correct? I've learned all this since we learned the song. But it's called Mama Let 'Em Play, and it's from the 70s or whatever. And all these old dudes are like, come up to us and be like, I can't believe you know this song. Like, I used to listen to this song with my brother in the basement, or we used to play it together. And it's, like they're just all blown away that we even know the song. So it's pretty cool.
So he's referring to you, old dude.
Old dude.
Right. Says the
Probably
oldest
my
one.
dad.
Says the
there.
oldest guy here.
That's
Awesome.
just cool.
Well, I'm getting thirsty. What do you say? Why don't we open the first beer, thanks to Dole Distributing for sending us up here. We are featuring Dogfish Head Brewery.
So I'll just tell the backstory, a little bit of backstory about while Tanner opens us here. We had a little snafu, a little mix-up, not Dole's fault, not our fault, just a mixture in communication, and we did not have a beer set up for today, but they came through and just dropped this off this afternoon for us. So thank you guys for coming through. So we're a little bit behind on knowing much about them, but we got the computer, we got their website pulled up. We should be able to talk about it. The cans are large tall boys, like a aqua turquoise. What is that? Sea quench? What is that?
Well, I'm not going to tell you what the beer is yet because we're going to listen to some music.
All right.
Well,
we're going to taste it while they listen.
While I pour this out, why don't we lead ourselves into another tune?
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
You guys ready? We good?
Yeah.
One.
Waiting on a Sunday afternoon for what I read between the lines. The lines. A feeling like a hand in rusty chain. So do you laugh or does it cry? Line. watch the time go by. All of these things you said to me.
Woo! All right. That was good, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
That was great.
That was
Thank
very
you.
good, guys.
Thank you very much.
You're gonna watch our levels now because I'm a little hot.
Here I was thinking it was a drinking game. I heard fantastic, not a presidential election. So
Oh, there we go.
But you just said it, so does that count?
I guess
All right.
we guess we gotta drink. What are we drinking?
Everybody drink. We are drinking a Dogfish Head Sea Quench Ale. Sea Quench.
Sequench.
It's a session sour, so it's a sour beer. It's got limes on it.
Saison.
What?
Saison.
Son?
Saison. That's what you say. Saison sour.
Saison. That's what it says. Not session. Saison.
Don't worry. I know it's 3 days after the
it's
election.
out of my comfort zone here. It's not it's not a Busch Light, so it's
That's two if you're drinking.
blissfully brewed with lime juice, lime peel, black limes, and sea salt.
It's got a trout on front.
It does have a trout.
Oh, man, that's
a
sour.
dogfish.
Do you guys like beer? What are your thoughts?
It's a sour.
I actually kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie. I don't drink a whole lot of beer. We're a not a strictly White Claw group, but like 95% of the time we're caught drinking White Claw, and we get made fun of a lot for it.
Just
but
because there's no laws when you're drinking
That's
claws?
exactly
Is
right.
That's why?
Exactly
That's what I
right.
thought.
I could see why a White Claw drinker would find this tasty.
This is not bad.
yeah, no.
It's fruity.
Yeah, and I
I
said
don't like most beers, but I'll drink that.
I was just gonna say, if Sam tells you that he doesn't mind it and it's a beer, it's got to be a really, really good beer because he just is not. He's just not a beer.
What about Lauren? I can't see Lauren. She finished it.
Yeah, how do you feel about it?
She gave a thumbs up, I think.
Not a big beer.
sour beers are kind of the thing. So it's brewed in Milton, Delaware.
Delaware. Yep, we are no longer in Iowa.
That's fine.
We're from Delaware County.
Delaware.
not the same thing.
There you
Yeah,
go. I mean, it's still a craft beer. It's still supporting local agriculture there. I'm assuming, so that's cool.
That
How did
is
Delaware do in the election? That's right, drink boys.
Oh, that's right. Drink boys.
Yeah, but no one knows. We're still counting everything.
It even has the name of my beer on it. Please drink responsibly. So, everybody's advertising my beer. Responsibly is the name of my beer. So,
No, it's good. So, do you guys write and come up with any of your own stuff, or is it all old stuff?
It's right now we're strictly doing covers, and there's been a few individuals in the band have been working on things. I mean, basically, we're all down to write originals, but it's just someone's got to do it and bring it to the band. And we've never sat down and tried to write one, all five of us together. I think that'd be a headache just with all the different tastes in music that we all have. But I see it happening in the future. I'm working on something right now. It's way out of my comfort zone, and I'm digging it. And I think a lot of people will dig it too. So,
and that's the voice of Sam.
Like, what, are you already going pop or what?
Little T Swift.
country,
T-Swift.
country,
Country.
country.
all
I'm
right.
working on a bro country song right now.
Bro country. So you're going down with some
We have
Florida
Sam
Georgia
Hunt in
line.
studio.
And I like find myself like trying to write words for it, and I'm like, this is so easy.
I thought maybe you were going with like the Stained route and
Oh.
going that way country, but no,
Like,
you're going bro country.
No. No, I'm not badass enough to do that. I'm more of like the talk about love.
Yeah.
You know, I'll talk
I figured
about
it was a
love.
song.
I bet the ladies would love it. That's like the main reason. I was like,
Right.
what genre can I pick that girls will like the most?
Yeah.
Hey, you got to play to an
country.
audience. That's the same reason we direct all of our podcasts at the Women in Agriculture.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast earlier this week that someone was talking about country music, and it's like a lot of people relate to it so much because it's a story about normal, middle of the country's people's lives. So even you playing rock music can relate to it because it's
all
what
the
we
red
live
people
every day.
in the election? Is that what you're saying?
Drink. But I don't know. We all grow up. We all deal with hardships, and that's what country's about. So if you don't like a little bit of country, then you don't believe in those people. That's what the message was.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I mean, you're not gonna offend anyone here, but yeah, I promise. But you guys are all real country music fans. Is that what you're into, or what do you guys all listen to?
I am, for sure.
Yeah, I bounce around. I need a variety. The amount of time that I spend in the office and in a tractor, or sometimes even in a semi, I like having a variety. Sometimes I'll throw on 97.3. Sometimes I'll throw on a podcast. Sometimes it's the bus. I mean, it's pretty vast.
I lean more country, like old country.
Yeah.
Like the old. What's on the radio now is probably not country. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's definitely a different kind of country. But, it's kind of like that with rock. You got your grunge rock, you got your punk rock, you got hard rock and death metal. I mean, there's just a lot of, genres within. So
I had a roommate in college that was rap, like Snoop Dogg all day long.
I love rap.
And I was country, and he controlled the internet at our building. It's what he does now. He's an IT guy, and he said, if I ever hear you play country, I will stop your Wi-Fi. And it happened one time, and I had nothing. It was gone. It was gone. So there was 4 years I could not listen to country.
Fun story.
That is ruthless. That would suck. Not
he
being
was
able to...
flat out no Wi-Fi.
I used to be the guy at parties. I'd take over the computer, and I could play rock, I could play rap, and whatever's I knew what the girls would dance to at the time and all that kind of stuff. Well, Iowa State 2007 or something like 6, when I was living in the dorms, I had LimeWire pulled up. I had 10,000 songs and all that shit. And I got shut down. They going through Iowa State's internet and got the old letter in the mail, and I had to take the computer and show them that I deleted everything, and they let me off. I didn't get in trouble, but that was a little scary.
No more DJ Corey.
No. The free download stuff.
That was after Napster.
Did you have a good story about the party guy?
LimeWire.
I just remember using that, barely. I barely remember.
And before that was Napster. That was
that's
even
right.
more of the Wild West, so it was a little crazy.
So coronavirus obviously made this year a little bit unique. How's that been for gigs?
It seems like the scene has changed. We got asked a question. We went and shot a live performance a couple weeks ago in Des Moines, and they asked us a question. I thought it was an interesting question to ask. Was what's the weirdest show that you've played since all this went down? And Ben hit the nail on the head with that answer. We played some shows in some smaller towns where guidelines weren't as followed, and then you get to some of the bigger city shows, and it's a whole different can of worms. So we did a stadium show on the 4th of July at Veterans Memorial Stadium in Cedar Rapids. If you're familiar with Cedar Rapids Colonels, that's where they play.
Yeah.
And so in a stadium that fits, 3,500 people, they put 1,500 people in. So we're playing on the field to what is a full stadium during coronavirus, right? There's 1,500 people there, and those 1,500 people felt like 200. It was so weird. In my head, I was...
It was weird.
It felt, it was so weird. And there's a fence in between, and we're not used to playing on a baseball diamond, you know what I mean? So it was just, it was a lot different, but it was a really cool show. Gave us a lot of great exposure.
You had people, because they were spread out throughout the whole stadium, so there's people behind you even, way off in the wings, and they didn't even get to see our faces, so that was
We were
weird.
Garth Brooks playing to a giant stadium.
Exactly. It's
it
felt like
all
Metallica,
stages.
just turn around and play to the back of the stage for a little bit. That'd be sick.
It's got to be weird, though, when they can't get up to the stage and there's no lingerie flying at you.
Right. No, it really is. And some songs that we do are driven off of crowd adrenaline.
Energy.
And it gives us, the energy to push through the song and make it as badass as it can be. And when they're not up in your face dancing and riding the stage, it's hard. But
You got a good point that there is a lot of energy that goes to it. Sometimes make recording a podcast difficult too, because
And
we don't get to see our audience react to what's going on. We're recording and feeding off of the energy in the room, let alone so when we do get the feedback, like we talked about earlier, that really helps go a long ways.
We've done a couple over Zoom. We talked to that gentleman across the pond, well, 2 now, but one was in South Dakota. But that was fun to see their reaction on the other side on the TV screen there. But interesting.
We're going to get down to getting some more. We're going to get some cameras in here and start doing some professional stuff. Have a YouTube channel maybe.
Professional. Whoosh, that's
Studio audience.
We're going to work there.
That's a big word. Professional.
Yeah. You guys play full time, or you got other gigs, or what's going on with that?
Well, a few of us go to school.
Still going to school?
The other half of us works every day, normal jobs, 9 to 5s. And then we just do this every weekend. I mean, whenever we're booked, we play.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's not a full-time thing yet. I mean, that's the goal.
So what's the school majors?
So our bass player, he goes to Hawkeye. To be honest, do you guys know what is? I think it's.
They're not quite brothers. They
You know what? I'm not
Keystone
even.
Light,
Gonna,
I think, is the
I'm-
major at Hawkeye, right?
What's that?
Keystone Light.
Yeah. No, I really don't know, and I'm not gonna sit here and try to guess. But I go to UNI in Cedar Falls, and I'm a criminology major, so I'll have plans to graduate in May.
Nice.
So don't know. It's, music and criminology don't really go hand in hand. So
Sure they could.
I saw a cop on TikTok that got like millions of views. So
for playing music or for
yeah,
singing.
he stopped. He was in full uniform. I wish I had it now, but he stopped and he sang Chris Stapleton is what he sang, and
Yeah.
and just topped up on a bench, and there was a band playing. He said, "Hey, can I grab the mic real quick?" Millions and millions of views. So
that's gonna be me, or that was Chris Stapleton dressed as a cop.
or it was.
Either that.
He nailed it too.
So is that what you do with a criminology major? Are you wanting to be a police officer?
No,
Or what do you-
actually, hopefully, going in the field of like probation and parole.
Ah,
Yeah.
Cool.
So corrections. Yeah,
Very cool. So any of you guys, were you involved in FFA in high school?
I was not.
No?
Sam wasn't. Ben. I don't think any of us would have been.
Well, that was my really bad transition into a post that I saw on Twitter from Tim Hamrich. So we'll just move into that. He actually had the honor of moderating a couple of Zoom chats. So again, we can't have the FFA convention, so everything had to be done over Zoom. And what he was a part of is presenting a couple of new business ideas. So all the FFA students in this part of the program were, sharing what their new businesses were. And a couple of them that he put out there is custom garden planting, forensic entomology research, sunflower fields for pictures, and floral therapy.
floral therapy.
Yeah.
There's a big business in flowers.
I'm sitting here, I have WTF behind forensic entomology research.
Entomology, so that's the
It's
study
bugs.
of bugs, and that's actually a large.
But forensic. Isn't
Forensic.
forensic like going back after a crime scene and trying to recreate it?
I think that's probably what TV's made it. I don't know,
Oh.
just because of forensic files. Yeah, I think that's what TV has made that word to be, but I don't know the technical definition.
But the custom garden planting caught my attention. I don't need the garden planting. I'm always really good about getting it planted. But when my tomatoes are ready or something's ready to be harvested, that's usually when I fail. And I walk out and I've got rotten tomatoes or whichever. I could use custom harvesting on a garden.
The entomology thing is a really unique angle, and so isn't like protein. So protein in the world is a huge thing.
Right.
Isn't insects like one of the largest proteins consumed in the world, like crickets and
Right, you see that.
And
You see those
you go over
gym
to third world
rat
countries.
people. Yeah, the gym rat people now are trying to make it a fad.
Yeah.
Come and eat your cricket powder, and maybe that's what you guys should start off before your shows. Get hyped up on protein.
Ooh,
Yeah.
he says.
I don't,
Eat some bugs.
yeah, I don't know about
Do a
that.
couple lines of some ladybugs.
Ladybugs.
I don't know about that.
But no, so like in third world countries, they don't have a lot of money. They actually eat bugs, and in China they have a bunch of crickets and grasshoppers and all that
Man.
stuff. But people are here. I know I've heard of it a few times. I looked into it back when I was doing the aronia berries and trying to find something different than corn and soybeans to grow. And entomology and growing crickets and is a big thing, and you can actually sell them, and with shipping worldwide and all that kind of stuff, it's a big thing.
So you guys said a couple of you work. What do the other couple of you do for your full time?
I frame. I just build houses.
Build houses.
That's
frame.
not. That's
That's
not
a
a
good-
just. That's a big deal.
That's framing
awesome.
carpenter.
No, that's great.
I detail cars.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
There's 3 out in the parking lot.
There's
I'm off the clock, man.
Off the clock.
I'm off the clock.
I've got several friends that were framers, and that's a skill that stays with you the rest of your life. You're so handy at everything. I wish I would have went and done something like that for a couple years.
Well, I wish I'd had learned how to do it the right way. After a couple of basements and a couple of buddies' houses, I sure wish I knew what I was actually doing.
I worked as a framing contractor in college, and it was a pretty good time. But my boss said, you don't frame on your knees, because the first day I got on my knees as I was building the wall and tapping the gun, he's like, no, we don't kneel down. You move faster. There's only 2 ways to make more money in construction. Get cheaper materials or move faster. So it was move faster because we didn't use cheaper materials. So
Oh, that's pretty good. So why don't we take a break here and get ready to have our next beer from Dogfish. Dogfish.com. That's how you find them. Pretty easy, pretty simple.
Dogs.
So close, I can almost taste it.
This is going to be a good one. I can tell by smelling it.
Can
this,
you now?
This is going to be a real good one. Why don't we transition into a tune, and then we'll come back with our taste.
to sing a little country? Oh, you bet. Play a little country?
Oh, you betcha.
We're close. We're good.
Oh, yeah.
You guys ready?
Ready? Born ready.
A Sunday morning, man, she woke up fighting mad, bitching and moaning on and on by the time I had. And by Tuesday, you could say that girl was good as gone. And then when Thursday came around, I was all alone. So I went for a drive to clear my mind, ended up at a Shell on I-69. Then I won $100 on a scratch-off ticket, bought 2 12-packs and a tank of gas with it. She swore they were a waste of time, all but she was wrong. I was calling number 5 on the radio station on a 4-day, 3-night beach vacation. Deep sea scenery to fishing down in Panama. And I ain't gotta see my ex-future mother-in-law anymore. Oh Lord, when it rains, it pours. Now she was sure real quick to up and apologize when she heard about my newfound luck on that FM dial. And it's crazy how lately now just seems to come in waves. What I thought was gonna be the death of me was my saving grace. It's got me thinking that her leaving is the only logical reason that I got the last spot in the Hooters parking lot, and the waitress left a number on my check with a heart. She picked up on the first ring when I gave her a call. And I only spent $5 at the Moose Club raffle on a used 4-wheeler and 3 free passes for me and 2 of my buddies to play around the golf. And I ain't gotta see my ex-future mother-in-law anymore. Oh Lord, when it rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours. I've been on one hell of a redneck roll for 3 weeks now, and it all started on the day that she walked out. Then I won $100 on a scratch-off ticket, bought 2 12-packs and a tank of gas with it. She swore they were a waste of time, all but she was wrong. And I was calling number 5 on the radio station on a 4-day, 3-night beach vacation. Deep sea scenery to fishing down in Panama. And I ain't gotta see my ex-future mother-in-law anymore. Oh Lord, when it rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours.
Woo! Across some country from the rock.
That caught me off guard.
That was good.
Thank you.
Very good. Good harmony.
That was great. I did not know what to expect. That was really cool.
Thank you.
You guys didn't have to bring us country. We like it, but that's awesome.
No, so we found, actually, you're probably you're gonna laugh at this, but so we decided. When did we decide to like throw some newer country into this set? When was this?
When we were playing She's Country and Before He Cheats, and
Yeah.
girls love it.
Girls love country, right? And so then we decided to. So we learned Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood, and then Sam here had an idea to learn a Shania Twain song, and not just any Shania Twain song, but rather "Man, I Feel Like a Woman."
Yes.
And that has seemed to go over really well. And so, like, I don't know, we do another Luke Combs song, we do some Jason Aldean. Like, we're a rock band, but, like, you know, obviously you can only make an acoustic guitar sound so rock and roll. But, like, when we play She's Country and Beer Never Broke My Heart and stuff like that, it is a little bit more in the style of rock and roll, but it's still country music at the end of the day.
Some of my favorite of rockers is when they kind of unplug and go acoustic.
Yeah.
And kind of go ballad style. Like, you can really hear, like, because you always hear them, you know, rocking out, and it's great rhythm and loud music and all that, but you really get to hear their voice, and they're very talented. I mean, I loved it.
Yeah, back to your comment on Aaron Lewis earlier. I heard you say something about that. Like, that's the thing about our band is, like, there's 5 of us, and every single one of us has the most, like, diverse of influences in, like, what we listen to and stuff. So, like, and, like, I'm a huge fan, and not that they don't like it, but I'm just a huge fan of, like, Aaron Lewis and, like, outlaw country, like Tyler Childers and Cody Jinks and Ward Davis and all those dudes. Like, I figured, you know, there's probably, like, for example, Tyler Rickton, they play like Tyler Childers and stuff, and that's why I was you know, so glued to what they were doing, because they're doing all kinds of the music that I listen to regularly. So
I've been on a Co-Wetzel kick since Ellie.
He's
Man.
good too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that. So. All right, gentlemen.
You guys are good enough. You could have won the election.
And
here we go.
So this next one's 3.6 carbs per. Oh, wrong part. This local IPA is brewed with mighty atomic hop varieties that deliver tropical notes with slightly sweet balance provided by the monk fruit extract.
Monk fruit?
Monk fruit, and there's a picture of monk fruit on there too.
How do you know that's a picture of monk fruit?
Well, that's my guess. It looks like berries.
I don't know.
Monk fruit. So this is the Doghead Slightly Mighty Low-Cal IPA, 95 calories, 3.6 carbs. This is like your White Claw right here. It's like low carb.
I don't think it's going to taste like a White Claw.
Sam already is shaking his head.
I'm not digging this one. I like the last one a lot better.
Hold on, Dave. Hold on. We got to get this. We got to get this on.
So I'm not a big fan of IPAs, but we.
That sour one was good though. Like, I don't drink a lot of beer either, but the sour was good. You
like this one? Here you go.
No.
Really?
No.
Drink up then. What about you?
That's not my cup of tea, but
No.
Right over here, my cup of beer for this instance. But
I enjoy it. It's a very light IPA.
It is.
It's not,
It is very light.
It's not overtakingly hoppy.
This is
fruity.
Exactly. That I can see where it's a low cal. It's very light.
But that's pretty cool, you know, for your IPA drinkers. Like, if you're shitting slamming like 8 of them back, you're A, really inebriated, and B, you drank like all of your calories for the day.
I actually didn't know that there was a low cal IPA.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't even know you could make a low cal.
Did you know it's distributed by Ball, or the canned by Ball? Ball's right out of Ames, Iowa here.
Yeah, and then Dole Distributing is who provided it to us.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Well, really cool. Dogfish.com. We got this pulled up. With deep roots in coastal Delaware, not Delaware County.
Delaware County, Iowa.
Beer and benevolence is our way of giving back to the community. So they do have a give back page here. It says they've partnered with over 200 nonprofits every single year. So it is really cool to see a company like this give back to their community.
Here's the deal, Dogfish. I expect a large bump in ratings and listens in Delaware.
Let's do that.
Had I known that this whole podcast, you know, I knew that there was some beer tasting and stuff, and I didn't even put it together, but Sam's kind of over here grinning at me. So our bass player that's not with us today decided to take on, probably a couple months ago, decided to take on this new idea of doing like exactly what you're doing on a Snapchat story like once or twice a week. So he's trying like wines and beers and all this kind of stuff, and like I didn't even think of it, but like he would absolutely love this, man. He would have loved it.
Is he on TikTok?
No. Probably. He probably is, but he just ain't telling us.
He needs to get out there.
Are you guys on TikTok?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Do you make them?
Yeah.
Really? Like for this or just for the hell of
His
it?
combine with Busch Light has got like, what, 2 million views?
Well,
Something
you
like
combine
that?
it. It's a couple.
I got Busch Light on my combine.
You guys are out on TikTok. I just put one out of you guys. while you were just playing this last song.
Oh, sweet. We got to start one now. If we start, it would be a disaster, man.
That's some of the best accounts.
Part of it.
The stuff you think will.
The key is don't let your notifications come up because it would your phone would never shut off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Especially when you go viral, like 2 million views. Yeah.
It's tough to figure out the algorithm. But once you do, it just, I was telling him the other night, in less than an hour, I had almost 20,000 views on one of these and I didn't just post it. It was one that was out there. Just all of a sudden it got into some wormhole.
Yeah.
And within an hour.
And it's crazy. Like if you put something out, like in 3 hours, you could have 100,000 views and then TikTok will shut it down. Like just shut it down right there. But then all of a sudden, like someone finds it and it ticks something up on another algorithm and there it goes again. Like it's weird. It is a weird.
That's crazy.
Thing.
I was listening to a podcast. I listened to, I don't know if you guys are familiar. I listened to a lot of Joe Rogan. And I was just talking about this on the way here. He had Miley Cyrus on his show not long ago, and she was talking about how like TikTok is literally like a label now. Yeah. Like they're just picking up all these artists. You know, they're probably making just a ton of money off of bottom magic.
There was a TikTok the other day. Ronnie Dunn, Brooks and Dunn.
Yep.
Ronnie Dunn said, "Hey, we're looking for a few good country singers. Just show me what you got." So they duet it, and they're gonna make a label to it and put some people in there. Yeah. And there's a 615 House. 615 House is just people that were trying to be their own independent label on TikTok, and they knocked it out of the park. And they basically
got bought out. Yeah, exactly.
Somebody put them all in a house together, and they all just drink beer. And
wait, is that house out of Nashville?
Yeah,
there's like 5 girls and 5 guys. So I follow that account. That's incredible.
It's the 615 House.
Yeah, those guys are nuts, man.
Yeah. They have nothing to do with the election.
They don't,
but so my brother and I were talking, like, because we don't listen to the radio very much anymore. It's all Pandora, it's all, Spotify, whatever. So we're listening to what we want to listen to, but you never hear new stuff. TikTok is where we hear stuff and it's like, I like that song. Who sang that? And so we're using it to find music now. It's crazy.
So if you guys had a dream venue to play, like, best ever, other than Woodstock or something like that. What are you thinking?
And it can be different for all of them.
Okay, I know the one I really want to play. Ben's actually played there before. He can kind of speak about that if he'd like. I really want to play the Surf Ballroom in Clear Lake. I think that'd be really cool. I've seen one of my favorite shows I've ever seen was there.
I've been there.
There's a lot of history to that place, so I think that'd be a really cool venue. What about Sam?
That'd be pretty cool. I don't think I have a dream venue, just a dream crowd. Full of women. No, I'm just kidding. Surf Ballroom would be pretty sweet, though. That was where my first concert. I went and saw Slash and Miles Kennedy there. That was my first rock show I've ever been to.
Yeah, Ben, what about you?
Oh, boy. I don't know. Any place, you got to make it your best venue with the show you put on.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
This is the PR guy for the band.
It must be.
Somewhere that you can get up in a cage and be rotated around and play drums upside down.
Tommy Lee.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So like Wembley Stadium. All right.
You could probably do that at the Well in Des Moines. Right?
Much closer to home there.
So when you guys played, when you opened for Hairball, did you get to interact with them much?
Not really too much. I mean, I had some words with like a couple of them. They're just incredible. Like they're prime example of success in a cover band. You know what I mean? And like they're a big corporation now, and it takes an army to run their band. You know what I mean? Like we're still on the level of 5 guys and halfway with the booking agent. You know what I mean? Like it's very minimal, but the stuff that they're doing it's just inspiring because like they have fans all over the place, and it's 6 dudes that are in a 80s hair metal cover band, but they've got it figured out, man. And they've had it figured out for a while.
If you live in Iowa or in the Midwest, I would say it's not whether you have seen them, it's how many times you've seen them.
Exactly.
And every time it's amazing.
Yeah.
Never gets old.
So we know that you guys can sing and play. Each one of you, what are you not good at?
I'll let you start. I don't even know how to answer that question.
I am not good at sticking with something. Because I've tried learning guitar a few times. There's a couple songs where like we could use a third guitar player when we'll have Isaac playing a solo and then Cooper will start harmonizing with him, and they'll be both playing double solos, and then there's no strumming in the background. I've tried to figure it out. I give up right away. I'm on like a keyboard kick right now. Been learning some chords, but like it's slowing down. Like I got to keep going with it.
I'm with you. I wanted to play drums in high school band. But I didn't have the piano lessons that they said I needed to have that, so I tried playing guitar and I gave up on it. My roommate got me electric guitar in college, and I didn't get anything learned. And now my mother-in-law got me a acoustic guitar with the Chord Buddy. I don't know if you've seen the Chord Buddy thing, and I still don't know how to do it.
Well, you might be shit out of luck in that case.
Yeah, I think I fall into that too. I mean, I played saxophone. I kind of got bored with that, and then I went to drums, and then I got a guitar, and I did like 6 lessons, and then I was like, yeah, it's not for me.
I just can't focus.
It's tough. Like you hear all these great guitar players, and especially like being around these guys. Like our drummer is an amazing guitar player, and our bass player plays guitar. Obviously, all 4 of them, and like any instrument that I would want to play, like I just want to be at their level like right away. So when it doesn't happen in those first 3 nights that I start my practice routine, I'm like, yeah, well, I'll try again next week.
Yeah. What about you guys?
I'm gonna let Ben go because I'm thinking too hard about this.
You're just good at everything.
No, I'm not good at everything. I promise, but I'm trying to think of like a good answer for this. Go ahead, Ben.
Well, one of the things that I wish I was good at is piano, because piano just expands your knowledge instantly on anything. Not anything, but anything musical, Yeah. That's one thing I wish I was.
See, I would have thought you played piano. I feel like when people play multiple instruments, that they are good at piano.
And that's why I wish I saw a way I could put, piece them together a little easier. But yeah, piano's my answer.
As long as we're talking along the lines of music. And I did steal this from Sam, but I was trying to think, like, I can't sing. Like, I'll play guitar all day, and, like, I can keep rhythm, and, like, I'm halfway musically inclined, but, like, the minute I start to, like, sing with it, it's never been there. Like, I don't know, I love to sing. I'll sing in the shower. I'll sing in the car. I'll sing everywhere, but I'm just not very good at it, And that makes me jealous of him, because he's just got the voice of an angel,
He's so good.
But, yeah.
It's teamwork.
It is teamwork, yeah, exactly.
Well, somebody at your organization was good at coming up with your logo, because did you notice that the T goes through the brothers knot and the quite, and the T drags all the way down?
Dave.
It was like, that was like awesome. That's a good logo.
That's the beautiful part of having a friend that's a graphic designer, because we had absolutely nothing to do with that. I have been told since then, though, that we're the only logo that any band logo that anyone's seen since the Beatles that has a T that drops. I guess there's a Beatles logo somewhere out there that has a T that is dropping. I've been told.
I noticed it right away on your Facebook page this morning. I started looking, and I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's probably where I need to step up and say what I'm not good at is I am not good at deciding
a logo
if we need to change or what our new logo should look like. So
we've been thinking about making a logo for 5 months.
Well, we've got a logo.
6 months.
Yeah, we've got the logo. I just want something kick-ass, simple, bold, all these adjectives.
And he's a banker.
And I'm a banker. I got no creativity.
Sometimes I just have to quit texting him back. He's sending me.
What do you think of this?
What do you think of this? What do you think of this? They all suck.
Okay, I do have a question. I'm sure it's been answered on your guys' show a million times, but how long have you guys been doing this?
We started recording in May of 2019. And the first episode went live July 1st.
About a year and a half.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, he was just talking last night. Sam was. I was on the phone with him. He's like, "I've always wanted to start like a YouTube channel." And I was talking to one of my buddies on the phone last night, and I was like, "We should start a podcast." Like, it's just it would be such a fun, and like maybe it'd be hard to find time like outside of school and the band and stuff. But like, I think that I would have a grand time with a podcast, and I don't even know what it'd be about. Like, it could be really anything. But
so our very first musical guest, Royce Johns, actually started his own. After being on our podcast.
After being on it. Yeah.
Okay.
So I would encourage you to do that. And of course, Corey says everybody's got a podcast. So why not do one?
Everyone has a podcast. I mean, it's a great, who cares if you get listens or not? Like if you're doing it for yourself, right? You're wanting to put stuff out, and then if it's good stuff, it'll grow.
People like it. Yeah.
And then you can
and people start sharing. Like our audience, the best audience ever, by the way.
Winner.
Mm-hmm. Just shares it, and next people, and more people, it just continues to grow. So, yeah, I encourage you. Go ahead and do it.
Speaking of Royce, since you said Royce, I have 3 signed CDs that just came out on November 1st from Royce. It's a fantastic, I'm going to give them away. So,
all right.
What should we do? Like someone just listen to this and...
No, we know that doesn't work.
What if they just DM us?
Well, they could try DMing us, but we know that doesn't work.
What doesn't work is you tweeting back at it from your personal account and the Farm for Profit account And then, because as soon as I tweeted it, like, we had plenty.
It
of
was
people.
fun. Social media king.
So when he came along, we became the Mullet of Podcasts. See, the Mullet of Farm Podcast, because we're the business line of Farm4Profit. We talk about strategic business moves and how to be more profitable. But then on Farm4Fun, that's the party in the back.
We do this.
Yeah.
So we're the Mullet of Agriculture Podcast.
No matter what.
Okay.
No matter
that
what.
makes sense now.
Yeah, no matter what, if it's the week after an election or not.
Yeah.
Oh, dang, no.
Well, should we just talk?
Yeah,
can we just
we
talk
better
about the
just talk
election?
about
We're
the
just,
election.
I mean,
Okay.
like, all right. I just got like one statement to say. We don't know how to count. It happens every 4 years. We have to, go through this process no matter what side of the aisle you're on. But what I'm excited for is there's no more political ads. That is fantastic. I think my daughter on YouTube and us hated Joni Ernst and hated Teresa Greenfield.
It's amazing
because
how they did that. My
you
kids
couldn't
knew all about it too.
You couldn't watch a damn YouTube video for 3 minutes
Yep.
without having them break in. It's like there's so much money spent on that, and I think what we need to do, no matter who wins in this, maybe it's decided by Monday when this comes out, but
I hope
we need
so.
to get back to being Americans. Like, we need to work with each other. We shouldn't be rioting in the streets on either side, and get back to being better. I mean, one person or two people in office isn't going to change our personal life
Did you see my post on Facebook
that much.
about this? So if you voted for Trump,
I did see this.
I'm still your friend. If you voted for Biden, I'm still your friend. If you don't listen to the Farm4Fun podcast, you're dead to me. No.
Your post said
No.
if you don't use me as your realtor, you're dead to me.
Which I saw, and I told the president of the bank, and I switched it to banker,
Yep.
and he loved it.
My wife switched hers to if you don't like to talk about cows, you're dead to me. So
I forwarded that to two other realtors that I knew.
if you
and they
don't
loved
listen,
To not quite brothers.
not quite brothers, you're dead.
dead.
I'm
F
using that as a
off.
post next week.
F
Do it.
off.
Do it. Tag us in it. We'd love it.
Yes.
No, that is exactly. I don't know if I have much to say. I told these guys when I walked in here that I'm uneducated because I watched the first night and realized that all the media sources were manipulating the results just to put out something entertaining. Nobody knew.
So here's what I want to know. There's a demographic here. You guys are younger than I am. What's your take on the election? Maybe first time you're able to vote this time.
Yeah. For me, it is. I don't know
I
about
voted in the last election, and I went in there, and I only went to go cancel out my brother's vote because he told me who he voted for, and I was just being a douche. So I went in there and I voted for the opposing side. And when you get in there and you look at the ballot and you see all the names that you never heard before and all the different things that people are running for, I almost felt bad that I went and voted because I was so uneducated about all the policies and everything. So this year, I mean, I didn't vote. I didn't go and vote.
Yeah.
I just felt like it didn't matter whether I had an opinion on it or not because I'm not educated enough in all the other things. And
It's too bad you
I'm
don't
just
live in-
going to be a good person every day, no matter who the president is.
Which
That's
I don't
exactly.
disagree with that platform. I know we're going to have a bunch of listeners that are going to say, how could you have not voted?
right.
But I agree. If you are uneducated, and I think that's the main. We don't want to cast votes without having a background or knowledge of the situation.
I bet
just
you
to cast
3/4
them.
of America cast votes without any
Right.
education.
You think so?
Oh,
I bet they do.
That's the most.
guarantee it.
That's the difficult conversation that comes along with it.
Like,
It's like if this dude's uneducated and this dude's uneducated and he voted, then like why shouldn't I? Like it's such a sticky
good point.
situation.
You could have been the swing vote in Georgia. I mean, we're that close. We are that close.
Dude, like if you want an opinion on it, like why doesn't just like these states just like figure their shit out? You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like it doesn't even matter to me, but like why don't they just figure their shit out? Like how can you not count for this many days or like have more counts than
Right.
or so I saw something like one of the states had more votes than registered voters. Like I don't care if that's in favor of Biden or in favor of Trump, but like how the hell does that happen?
Right.
Some of that might be social media. Have you seen The Social Dilemma? Social Dilemma talks about how we as society are being affected. They are making us think what they want us to think. They're controlling the narrative, and they're controlling the narrative by making posts, whether it's true or not. That's where we get this fake news, fake media, fake everything.
This is the third time this week I've heard the Social Dilemma. I haven't seen
Have
it.
you not seen it?
No, I'm going to have
Dude,
to
I
watch
just
it.
watched like the first 20 minutes of it 2 days ago, and like I'm not gonna lie to you, I had to turn it off because it wasn't. I've heard so many people talk about social media in the light that like.
it's constant comparison, right? And that's what everyone's so against social media for. But when they busted out the idea that like social media was put into our society and not like all that was told was like, oh, this is a great source of news and it's a great way to connect people and all this stuff. And like they just threw this curveball into society with absolutely no forethought about the negatives that could come along with it. And once they said that, and I'm like, so much negative shit's happened since social media came out. I'm like, I'm out of here. Like, I can't even watch the rest of this. I'm like, this is insane.
The guy that invented the like button is on there. He talks about stuff. I had my parents watch it. They left social media for like 3 weeks.
And they came back.
And then they came back because they realized there is good stuff to
There
social media.
There
as
is
well.
good stuff. You just have to.
You have to
be so
realize
brainwashed.
that somebody might be putting stuff in front of you on purpose, paid for,
Correct.
marketed.
Promoted.
Like us. Oh,
Like
wait, we don't
what?
pay for anything.
We don't
No.
pay
Yeah,
for
that's
anything.
true.
Yet.
If you like our stuff, it's just because
You liked us.
you liked us.
If you see our stuff and are coming onto this podcast, you must have a friend that also likes us.
So yeah, back to figure the shit out.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the whole mail-in vote. We got the COVID thing. I get it, but like there should have been like strict regulations
Yeah.
on it needs to be in by this date, and I would have been like, they all need to be counted by the morning of that everyone else is voting. Like,
I don't think that
how is
we
that
should
even
have been
possible?
impossible. Correct.
Yeah.
It's funny we said that at the same time.
But
when we're talking about the election.
When are they going to go digital? That's what I want to know. When are they going to have an app on your phone? They already have COVID tracking on our phone that automatically showed up that we just is there, and it's so that we know if we're next to each other. Well, why can't they just say, "Here's your vote," and automatically text it? And not everybody has a phone, but I get it.
I
phone's
just
right
mentioned
next
that
to
the other day. I'm like, how long until voting is no longer like at polling places? Like, how long till that's in? Like, I had that thought the other day. This is the first time it ever occurred to me, but I was like, this doesn't make any sense.
when we get
It
the
reminded-
chip into us, they'll just know.
I was gonna say,
They'll vote for, right?
it reminded-
read your mind. That's terrifying.
It reminded me of the Iowa test of basic skills when I had to fill in the
yeah.
circles. I was like, this is
It's a Scantron.
so old school.
Yeah, it was a flashback I was having filling out the bubbles, and then I filled one out like out of the circle. I'm like, shit, they're not going to count that one.
See,
I don't even know who that judge is.
There was posts on Facebook about that, like, oh, they had me fill out the Sharpie. It doesn't count. So they were given the Sharpie. Well, that was out on social media, and somebody debunked that.
Well,
that
you-
yes, it will read a Sharpie, but
You saw the social media post to where they're claiming that certain people got handed 2 ballots.
oh, really?
Yeah, that the guy slipping the ballots out, handed 2 of them away. Well, I don't know how you verify that.
I do have a buddy that worked for us on the farm. His dad requested a mail-in ballot. He got 4. 4 mail-in ballots.
Are you
I
serious?
said, did he fill them all out? No.
Why not?
So I had a friend that got 2, lives right down the road, about 3 blocks. So she thought, I'm going to test the system. And so she did, and they sent one back.
Oh,
So
good.
only one went
Good.
through. So
Well, that's good to
How
know.
does that even? I don't know.
Then I saw a TikTok.
I voted absentee. I only got one, and I only
Well,
voted.
so how do you even know if your vote counted? That's the thing. Like,
Like, you mean like the absentee thing?
Yeah.
Isn't there? I didn't do this, and this is probably going to sound so stupid of me. I did vote absentee, but I guess I didn't care so much that I needed to make sure that my vote was counted. You know, because it's I mean, anyway.
the
think there's
girl
a
on
website you
TikTok was, I think in Georgia, was like, I went to go vote, and they pulled up her name or whatever, and they said, oh, you already voted absentee, and she's like, I never requested one of those or anything like that, and so they made her fill out like a provisional one,
Jeez.
and then she had a bunch of views and likes and everything, and then she's like, I just want to know who we voted for.
I don't know. The election's pretty damn close.
Yeah.
I mean, it is closer than I've ever seen it, and I probably voted more than all of you guys there just by age. But
Right.
I don't know. It just shows how divided our country is. So,
Right.
right, wrong, or different. Here's what I'm telling everybody. I don't care if Biden gets in or Trump gets in. Well, I mean, I gave my vote, but it's not one guy that's the hierarchy head that's going to make all the decisions. We still have a House. We still have a Senate. We still have democracy. We still have people that advise them. Trump doesn't make the decision on nuclear war. He has a lot of advisors. And likewise, Obama didn't make the decision on Afghanistan. He has advisors. They all have advisors. Granted, they're going to lean left or right, but they still have people that are keeping them in check. That's what makes
checks
our,
and balances, a system of
Yeah.
checks and balances. There was a deal on the Big Show this week because rural areas and farm country tends to lean more red, more Republican, and it's getting so bad that on farm policy, you got Nancy Pelosi in there, and all it is Republicans, and they go to like, hey, we need this water act, or we need ethanol, or something that the farm needs. Well, obviously the Republicans and Democrats are always butting heads. They need more Democrat farm.
Supporters,
supporters,
lobbyists,
yeah, to
whatever it is.
go, and so they can say, hey, this is what this small state that's, agriculture is their main business. We need help. So it's like it's like a different angle of, because it's always Republican, it seems
Right.
like.
So have you guys ever heard of The Big Show?
I have not.
But you've heard of Farm for Profit and Farm for Fun. So
Right.
we are bigger
We are
officially
the big
than
show.
The Big Show.
Okay.
The Big Mullet Show.
I'm calling it right now. This is the end of our talk about the election.
Drink.
A drink.
Very
With
civil.
that, let's transition into another Dogfish beer and another tune by Not Quite Brothers.
Ready?
This happened live.
Count us off.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's all the same, only the names will change every day. It seems we're wasting away another place where the faces are so cold. I drive all night just to get back home. I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride, and I'm wanted, dead or alive. Oh, I'm wanted, dead or alive. Sometimes I sleep, sometimes it's not for days, and the people I meet, they always go in separate ways. Sometimes you tell the day by the bottle that you drink. In times when you're alone, all you do is think that I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride, and I'm wanted, dead or alive. Oh, I'm wanted, dead or alive. Oh, I ride. Oh yeah. And I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride, and I'm wanted, dead or alive. I walk these streets, a loaded six-string on my back. I play for keeps, 'cause I might not make it back. I've been everywhere, and I'm standing tall. I've seen a million faces, and I've rocked them all. Oh, I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride, and I'm wanted, dead or alive. Oh, I'm a cowboy. I got the night on my side, and I'm wanted, dead or alive.
All right, that was pretty sweet, guys. I'm a little disappointed you didn't have the 12-string guitar going.
He knows.
On there. Like,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I told you guys that's my Moscow. What was that? 88. Like Bon Jovi played, and the 12-string guitar came out. They were like the headliner.
Yeah.
We had the whole double neck and everything.
Oh yeah, it was cool. I'm gonna go home and watch that tonight.
Okay. We are not telling anybody what this beer is
Why?
before we taste it.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
This beer is a early release. You can't even buy this beer in the store right now.
So we can't
I
tell
feel
them
so
about it. We just
special
have to
right now.
review it. Or?
December, I believe it's late December, maybe early January, this will be available for purchase.
Smells like an IPA, maybe.
It's the second IPA.
Early release.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, smacks you in the mouth a little bit.
It does. It's after.
It's like a sour tart IPA.
Like. You boys been doing a little
So we
boozing,
can't-
have you?
so we can't say this name or like.
No, again, I knew it was an IPA and I knew David wasn't going to like it, so I wanted to get his reaction. So tell us what it is.
So this is obviously it's a Dogfish Head, but it's a Hazy O
Hazy O.
IPA. Ale brewed with malted while they were naked,
What?
rolled and milled oats.
Seriously?
Naked oats.
You added
Naked
that
rolled
naked.
oats.
You added naked in there.
No,
Naked.
it has naked on the bottle. I just figured they were naked when they did it.
So Naked Oats?
Naked oats.
That would be a hell of a band name.
I like the copper top.
Ooh.
It really would be.
We
I'm
need to
just
edit
saying.
that out.
Yeah.
You know,
So you
get the copyright going.
Yeah.
So you didn't hear a regular can opening because this is the bottled beer.
That is
Early release.
So do you think it's just in a bottle because it's an early read?
I think so. Probably
Like-
easier to do a run.
Yeah, because it's it's a very bland, just white label. Like, here's something special that no one else gets to drink before.
So I digress from the IPA.
Hold on. Dole Distributing. Thank you.
Thank
Dole
you.
Distributing.
Thanks, guys.
Dogfish.com. And on dogfish.com, they're also a distillery.
Give us more to try. We have all kinds.
Dole is so
Gin,
great.
We'll be honest.
vodka, Sonic, Archaeology, and rum. Dogfish.
Really?
Go ahead. Digress.
So digress. So I'm looking to my left at Matthew McConaughey over here and wondering how long it took.
All right.
Like how long it took you guys to grow your hair.
I just got mine cut.
You just got.
I just got mine cut like 2 weeks ago. It was down.
Doesn't
like,
look like it.
down in between over my eyes, so I just got her taken up a little bit, but it's not even that long. It's like 5 months, 6 months.
Really?
Yeah, I look ugly with short hair. I do.
Yeah.
If you're top
got-
heavy, you look thinner.
He's
you know?
golden locks
If
is
you're
what he's got.
top-heavy.
I mean, to describe it, it's golden locks. I mean, blonde, curly.
Pay attention
Mine's
to social media.
straight,
We'll have
straight,
pictures out there. I'll have videos. I'll have pictures. All right.
Hairband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've grown mine out since January, and mine is much longer than yours. But mine doesn't grow like yours. I wish I had what is that? Is that an afro? Can you call that an afro? No.
I would have called
It's
it
like
an
a
afro.
bob.
When
Yeah.
you have your hat on,
Yeah.
You
No,
almost-
it's really long. My
when
hair,
you
yeah.
right when you have your hat on, it almost looks like you could be the spokesperson for the Mullet of Ag
You
podcast.
could cut it into a mullet.
You
Oh,
could-
yeah.
Some Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah.
Hey Ben, how's your hair growth coming?
Well, the beard's been coming in since 8th grade.
It's a solid beard. Solid beard.
Other than that, I mean, like, I keep it pretty regular around here.
8th
I'm
grade
really
beard.
jealous about the beard
Yeah.
thing. I just
I remember going to play some kids in basketball in 8th grade at like Carlisle, and they all had beards, and they were like, what is going on down there? What's in the water?
those were
Hey, you
those
know
were
what?
junior holdbacks.
They're probably good at growing beards, not so good at basketball.
No.
That was my story.
I mean, they were a lot bigger than us. I mean, they hit puberty way before we did, so they
My
kicked
wife
our ass.
made me shave last week. I had a full beard going on
Yeah.
after elk hunting, and
It
these
was
guys
good.
were all talking about it, and
How was elk hunting? I actually told one of our listeners I was going to interview you about
that
that.
was very good. Yeah, we went out and we shot a 5x5 bull, and I knew I only had 3 days, so 3 days out there, and
Where's out there?
at Montana. Went out to Montana. My parents live out there, and out western Montana, and they're getting a little older. My parents and my uncles, and they all come out. More of my family gets together for elk hunting than they do for Christmas. So
Oh, great.
we all go out together, and everybody likes to spot them, help pack, drag, etc., etc., etc. And
So it's party hunting?
no, you can't.
Okay.
So unless you're disabled. So in Montana, you still have to shoot it. So that's a difficult thing that I just like bird dog and walk miles and miles and miles to try to get the elk to run by my uncle that doesn't want to, get too far out of the truck.
Sure.
So, yeah. But we got him. We did it.
Nice.
So got it done. And we got
Rifle hunting?
Rifle. Yep. They're just at the end of the breeding season. So.
How long ago was this?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, we went out there. I went out west and visited my parents and flew in, and we got the elk the first day, which was great. But it snowed. It's like 70 degrees now while we're recording this podcast, and it snowed. It was so cold, and we flew into Montana, and it was just like a foot and a half.
I saw like western North Dakota was like -8 degrees while you were out there.
It was cold, but it makes the elk move, so that's good.
My Lord,
That's pretty good.
So what's the terrain? Is it all kind of like prairie land? You got mountains, or what are you dealing with?
Most people think Montana is all mountains, but the mountains are all really on the western part of the state. And so we hunt like central eastern. It's called the Missouri River Breaks, and it's where it breaks up the flatland. So the flatland, then it turns into hills, mountains. You'll be out of breath by the end of it, but it's not like 11,000 feet.
It's like a lot of sagebrush.
Lots of sagebrush.
Yeah, I got you.
But there's still
antelope.
In Montana, they call it coulees. Do you guys know what a coulee is?
No.
Have you heard of coulee? Coulee's a valley or a draw.
Well, I was thinking a coulis would have been the beverage that we have in our hand right now.
Oh, maybe, and then everybody out west. So if we have a deer we shoot in Iowa, we shoot a deer and we say it's a 14 point.
Yeah.
They count all the points. Out west, they count half the points. So it'd be 7 point. So if somebody says a 7 point,
7 by 7.
7 by 7.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's different than it is.
Because there's no whitetail out there. It's mule deer.
There's both. Yep.
There's both.
There's both. So there's big whitetail in Montana, not corn-fed whitetail like here. They're a little sagebrush tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to give you guys a little bit of heads up. If you've listened to our podcast before, we always like to ask our guests what they think the trait of the most successful people that they know have in common. So be thinking about the most successful person or people that you know, what makes them successful. So think about that. But first, Corey, you ranted about everybody having a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You ranted about not being able to get an extra belt for the conveyor on your drive-over pit.
Oh, yeah.
What are we ranting about this week?
My rant is because we're not done with harvest yet. So I get asked every day, hey, you guys done yet? You guys done yet? By all the people that, because we had that derecho come through and flattened all their.
Yeah.
So there's so many people around us that just went out and disked their corn down. Why aren't you done? Why aren't you done? Like, and they gauge themselves on how fast they get done with farming, and we're not done yet. So it's like, hey, it's not a race.
Well, you held that F-bomb back with a lot of might.
It's not a race to an extent. I mean, you don't want to be going into January or, being the person with the last one out there, but there's still plenty of crop out there.
Is that a thing, like farmer to farmer? Like, I finished my crops a week ago.
Yeah,
like,
like
is that a real thing?
There are some.
Really?
It's like a dick
I know
measuring
there's some.
contest of
There
And
are
it's-
some. Like you sent me a snap the other day that said someone went and chiseled next to the highway just so it looked like they were the first one done.
Yeah, just so it looks like they're getting stuff done. It's like, really? Like, you consciously made that decision to go to that? And it's like, does that make you more money? Does it? Maybe that landlord, that 80-year-old landlord that's looking to rent out their grounds, like, oh, they look like they could use some extra work.
Sure.
I don't know.
Doubtful.
I doubt it. But when you're picking some of the flattest stuff, which is yielding okay, I mean, it's amazing what we're getting.
Crops have rallied too.
Crops have rallied and all that. I feel pretty good about not destroying it. But 35 acres a day picking is slow.
So the in-laws are going to be picking corn well after you are.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to be last.
And they got a 16.
You just need to tell people you got more acres. It's like when cowboys wear their
Okay, now we're back to the dick measuring.
when cowboys wear their pants and their boots, that tells how much land.
Fake it till you make it.
But I tell you what, they run a cattle operation. And they were chopping some of that corn that was down.
Yep.
We had our Derecho episode.
Yeah,
and
they
found out
got
that
to
was
start
okay.
like a month and a half ahead of everyone.
Right, but everything they chopped was down. A couple of the neighbors that they chopped for are regretting that. They wish they'd have gone out there and combined it now that the prices have rallied.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they could have gotten 65 bushel or whatever it was picked up, they would have still been money ahead than taking a zero.
Yeah. And, we did those derecho episodes and, like, we were talking about quality and, lack of test weight and lack of yield and how terrible it's going to be on the combine. Knock on wood here.
Microphones?
Microphones here that We have not had any major breakdowns. It's been fairly good. That Maya head that we got is awesome, and the quality is like still 60-pound test. I don't know how. I mean, the dryness that we had was amazing. I mean, it helped us out quite a bit. But we need to get done before the rain that's coming on Monday.
So I got a question for you. The on the radio this morning, driving to work, I heard
Were they talking about the election?
They were not talking about the election. They were talking about they were talking about the election. They were talking about how you kind of mentioned it with derecho. You made me think of it that emotions were down and people are depressed. And now we have this election and people are depressed and people are down and people are whatever. And they said, if you have a friend that's down, maybe you guys comment on this too. If you got a friend that's down, don't go to them like, it's just a rough patch. You get through it. That offends people apparently. So you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to just say, yep, it is a crappy time. That's a crappy deal. That's what you're supposed to say. You're not supposed to try to justify how much better, or you got all kinds of good stuff. You guys are doing this and you're doing that and doing that. You're not supposed to say that. You're just supposed to say, yep, it's a crappy time. You're
okay.
right.
It's okay to be down.
Is there a but to that? Like, yeah, sure, it's a crappy time, but you got this to look forward to at least.
That's what they said not to do. Is they want to say like anything. They said just agree with them and
Just justify
their pain.
It's okay to not be okay.
That's
what
they were
That's
saying.
the idea. Okay.
That's what
See, I'm with
said.
you. I'd say it sucks, but you get out of it.
I do it all the time.
They say that. Well, the people on the radio.
That's
they're
what
not
makes-
a podcast.
What
but
radio
they're-
are you listening to?
If you go through life and it's all roses,
True.
What's your character going to be like?
What was that?
So this is character
It
building.
was Elvis Duran in the morning.
Oh, there you go. That's another controversial episode.
Uh huh.
He does push the limits and boundaries quite often. I haven't listened for a while, but that is another host who's very good at getting to the bottom of a question or a guest.
Yep.
With that, our guest.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what I asked?
I do. Absolutely.
You got the first answer?
Yeah,
That's good, 'cause I don't.
It's very vague and not well put, but it's just the ability to drive no matter what. It's like, there's a lot of things that go into success. There's like hard work and like that's kind of along the lines of what I'm thinking. It's more of like a mindset thing. Like no matter how many times you try or get told no, you know what I mean? It just, when your mind is set on something, the people that see true success are told no. You normally told no at least 1,000,000 times before they're ever like, yeah, absolutely. Before they get the green flag to go with whatever it may be. Like my father was a business owner. He ran restaurants and bars. All he wanted to do was own a bar, right? And I look up to him because for the longest time I was like, do I want to do it? Do I want to get into it or not? And like, eventually it was something that he wanted to do so bad that he opened 2 of them and they were extremely successful. And like, I look up to that, and any bands and anything like that. It's the ability to push forward when someone tells you no is what I think
Most successful people. So you're saying like, even if you tried guitar and you quit it and you're really not good at following through, that if you just kept trying, you'd be super successful.
So is he talking to you or is he talking to me?
I would call it that the Gary V. That's the Gary V mentality. Like you got to work. You got to work and grind.
Well, I've seen like they showed us a video when we were in high school, and I'll never forget this. Like, what was it like? Walt Disney was told no by like some big name, and Oprah Winfrey wanted her show on TV, but was told
Michael
no
Jordan.
by Michael Jordan. The same thing, and maybe Brett Favre's coach when he was in like 5th grade was like, you find something else to do. You shouldn't play football, and it's like eventually all those no's just turned into like, let's go. You know what I mean? And that's those are the coolest stories to me.
Mm-hmm.
So my idea.
This is Ben. Just this is Ben.
Yep.
This is Ben.
Drummer.
Yep, Benny Boy 34 on Snapchat for all you out there. Don't add me.
Don't even.
So my idea of success goes right off of Cooper's. In the same way, like, he's going for the never stop. You're always going, but mine is always you're always thinking. Successful people always think, even when they get the green light or the red light, they're always thinking, how can I make this green light, better? How can I make this opportunity that I was given better?
I like that.
Yeah.
A lot.
That's good. Never shut the brain off.
But that right alongside with his, I mean, like, he pretty much took mine.
Yeah, no, I agree that.
Yeah, no, that's right. It's drive. And like, the only thing I was going to add to it is that successful people don't get bored. They don't come home and they don't, like a lot of people will come home and they sit on the couch and they're like, oh, I'm so bored. And they start texting their friends, what's going on? Like, if you're truly thinking, you don't want to stop and you're creative and you have all these ideas, like, you get home from work, you get home from band practice, and then you start working on something else, whatever it is, you know?
One way to tie that into the band is a question I get asked often, and it doesn't offend me and it doesn't bother me, but it makes me think is, we're college-age kids, right? We're between the ages of 20 and 22. And what do most 20 and 22-year-olds do with their time on a Saturday night, right? They're not playing in bands, and they're not working, they're not doing anything like that. They're on the other side of the bar, right? And I get asked by people all the time, like, wouldn't you rather be hanging out with your friends? But it's like, these are my friends. We are hanging out. We're doing something that we love to do. Like, and we're pursuing something, you know, that means a lot to us in the midst of doing so, right? So like all those variables kind of add up and be like, this is what we want to do, you know, but I get that question often, and it's like, you know, not that I have any problem with going to and sitting on a bar stool and having a couple beers, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, the idea is that like you sacrifice those things with your friends over there to make something work with these 5 guys or these 4 guys.
See, you
right?
can relate that back to your Snapchat that says, they said, buy a farm. They said, be a farmer.
Yeah,
and this
be a
year we
farmer,
had
they
a
said.
derecho.
It would
and
be
you-
great, they said.
That goes right back to your podcast.
And with what Cooper said, you know, people ask out, do you miss out on the parties? Do you miss doing this? And like, you think about it, you go and play at any bar, you're the life of the
You
party.
are the party.
You're the
Yeah.
star that night, wherever you're at. Like, you're the one who leads how hard everybody else is going.
Yeah.
So, not saying you should get wasted every show, because we've run into issues with that.
that's the rocker mentality.
It's almost like, you know, having a couple and then keeping that can. I've been sipping on this Bud Light seltzer for like 2 hours, you know? Yeah.
made it
You-
huge.
You lead
Giant.
that party and you're having more fun because everybody else's fun is
Yep,
it's
feeding your
about
adrenaline.
you
Yep.
know? And
So
that'll
I
never get old.
I get it. So we haven't even asked you until now, and I feel really bad about it. If someone wants to book you, if someone wants to find you, how do they do this?
Okay, so we have a website.
Besides reaching out to Lauren.
No, Lauren is my great girlfriend, not our manager. No, she's not my great grandma. She's not our manager. My great grandma is not our manager. We don't have a manager. No, if somebody wants to get a hold of us for anything, you know, you want us on a podcast, you want to book us for a show, you want to talk to us, we have a website. It is notquitebrothers.com, spelt like just like you'd hear it. And then we have a Facebook. It's just at Not Quite Brothers. And
Soon to have a TikTok.
yeah, soon to have a TikTok after tonight and hearing all the success stories. I think that's in store for the future. We also have a band Snapchat. If anyone's interested in that, it is NQB_band. And those are pretty much the three platforms. And we also have an email, but the website submission list will direct you right to our email. So that's typically the route that people go.
So go to notquitebrothers.com and you'll get right directed to their website if you would like to book them. We highly recommend that you guys take a look at these guys. If you have a farm party, if you have an event, a social event, get them there. It'd be a fun time.
Yeah, I tell you what, the combination of rock and country would go very well with the demographic that our listeners are. I think that's a fantastic combination.
I think we come by that naturally living in Iowa, the rock and roll and country. Like, what else does anyone else listen to here? You know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely.
Well, they listen to Farm for Profit
Right.
podcast, of course, but
But you have rock and country.
yeah, that's right.
You know?
That's why.
Cool. What do you think, guys?
Let's send it out, and then I think we got a couple songs to play in the after show.
Hey, thank you guys for having us. We appreciate it greatly.
No, thanks for coming up.
You guys were a great change of pace for us.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
All right, Corey.
Crack a dogfish head, mix a drink. You deserve it.
Baby, here I am, I'm a man on the scene, and I can give you what you want, you just got to come home with me. I have got some good old loving and I got some movie store. When I get to throwing it on, you got to come back for more. Boys and things that come down to nothing, that ain't nothing but a drugstore. Let me say, hey pretty thing, let me light your candles, mama, I'm sure the hand and I mess around. Oh, action speaks louder than words, and I'm a man of great experience. I know you got another man, but I can love you better than him. Take my hands, don't be afraid, I'm gonna prove every word I say. I'm advertising love for free, so you can place your ad with me. Boys, come along and down light your candle, cause mama, I'm sure all the hand now, yes I am. I'm hard, so all the hand now. Ooh, yeah, yeah, go. Boys that come along and not mind the dummy. That ain't nothing but a 10-cent loving. Say, hey, pretty thing, let me light your candle, cause mama, I'm sure the hand now, yes I am. I'm hard, so hard to handle now. Ooh, baby. Well, I said, oh, baby, here I am, I'm a man on your seat. And I can give you what you want, you just got to come on with me. I've got some good old loving and I got some moving soul. When I get the drug and you don't, got to come back for more. Cause all things that come by the done, that ain't nothing but 10-cent loving. Say, hey, pretty thing, let me light your candle, cause mama, I'm sure I'll be handing now, yes I am. I'm hard, so hard to handle now. Ooh, baby.
This is the official after show. Not quite, brothers. Let's hear it.
But I hear that train coming, it's rolling around the bend. And I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time used to raging on. Oh, but that train keeps rolling on down to San Antonio. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son,
There you go. Not quite brothers. And I completely forgot to. This is you too.
Like I
isn't it?
said, you suck.
September 25th.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
19. All right. That was an unplanned awesomeness. We didn't ask you, where do you play next?
So a week from today would be, well, this comes out on Monday, right?
Yeah,
So
so
Friday
4
of next week, November 13th, we'll be at Chrome Horse. And then we got a couple private events, but on November 25th, the night before Thanksgiving, we're at a club called Riverbend in Manchester, Iowa. That's kind of back over towards our home turf. December 5th, we'll be at Wildwood in Iowa City. And December 11th, we'll be at Gaslamp in Des Moines.
Sweet.
Gaslamp.
Awesome.
Cool. That's pretty big.
Does that wrap up the after show?
Oh, I had one question. You guys play a lot of private shows?
Yeah, just like some weddings and stuff like that. And then like
You know,
private
the
events,
wedding
like you
singer
said,
type
like
stuff?
we've done shop parties and stuff. We've played everywhere. Yeah.
Nice.
So I do a crawfish boil every year, so I might need to get you on my my schedule.
That's funny. We got an offer for a crawfish boil down in Davenport a couple times. It's never worked out, but that's funny.
Yeah.
Because that's about the only other time I've heard of that.
Either that or we need to do a Farm for Profit tweet up.
Yeah. Ooh, that'd be
What's
good.
that? Say that again.
A tweet up.
Tweet
All the people that follow us on Twitter and our followers, we just need to get everybody together.
Yeah,
there's a-
and all the guests that you've had on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
That'd be
really
sweet.
want to play with the High Bank Boys again. We don't get to play with them again until August, and I'm looking so forward to it, but that's so far away, you know?
Tyler, if you're listening,
We know you're listening.
we got to make this happen.
Yeah.
We miss you, you beautiful man.
Cool. That's it. Let's
All
wrap
right.
up.
Crack a beer.
See ya.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. I left my phone on there. Oh my god.
So many nudes.
Oh, you guys are Facebook Live on that, too?
Did you do that? That's perfect. That's not getting edited out.
Yeah, how are you going to do that?
Yeah.
going to do it? What you just did is fine.
I just
Cool.
want to go back for a second.
Do it.
And when you said this is my great girlfriend, like she's great. Is a great girlfriend like another term for ex-girlfriend? Like, oh yeah, her. She's my great girlfriend.
She's my great girlfriend. She was the best
That's
one.
kind of sweet. I'm gonna start calling my exes. Yeah, she's my great.
She's
She's my great, great.
You should see her face.
Yeah, my great girlfriend was at the show last night.
Oh, my great,
Yeah.
great. In the
Great.
past, so yeah.
That's, I'm not going to fault you for bringing that up because I see where the logic comes from. If it was your girlfriend sitting here, I think that you'd be dead.
Yeah.
You might. It's great girlfriend.
Yeah.
If it was your great girlfriend, you might be dead. But I tell you what, we aren't going to watch when you leave the building. So if she does something to you in the parking lot, that one's on you.
Adjectives are great.